back with another episode of Sit Down here. I'm your host, Ernest, man. We got Jay Minor today. We got very special guest to me, man. FAMU Linebacker Nay'Ron Jenkins, man. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Man, chilling, bro. Appreciate you hopping on the show, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, first FAMU Rattlers, first football player. Hey,
first one represent
Rattlers, boy.
Hey, we're gonna get into it, Ern. Hey, we're gonna get into that FAMU football, but hey,
let's
man,
do it.
That you hopping on the show, man. We're just gonna start it off in the beginning, man. We know you're a fellow Florida boy, growing up Central Florida, Gainesville area. Talk about your start to getting into football. Obviously, Florida being a football state, was it something that was really forced upon you, or did you find football yourself?
So my whole family is, sports is like, we got faith, family, and then sports, like right up under that. We education too. So, education and sports is right after God and family. So
sound like a real Florida boy.
That's just what I was just raised, in that type of environment, but it never felt forced because I enjoyed it. Everything in my family is always competition. My mom would compete, my daddy compete, we compete against each other. And so I think that it was just natural that me and my brother, became competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at first, I thought I was going to be a basketball player. But I stopped growing. And so I realized, I say, yeah, let's go ahead and start getting ready to play football.
Hey, what you play?
I just enjoy everything. I play a little bit of everything, honestly, because, I was aggressive. So I could guard the 5, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
But, on offense and defense, I can't really give you 4 or 5 work because I can't score on 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? That was the problem you had with me. But I'm a press, I'm a guard hard. I'm gonna play good defense.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, that, basketball, that was where my love was. I really enjoyed basketball, but I realized if I wanted to go to college and play a sport, it was definitely gonna be football. And so once I started taking football seriously and things like that, I really, kind of started taking off, falling in love with the game, which I had already fell in love with.
Hey, Nay'Ron, man, what kind of jump shot you had out there, bro? You had one of them footballs. Strong, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all and say I had a nice jumper. I ain't gonna lie and say that. I was a slasher. I was a slasher and defender. I was locked down.
Hey, typical football player.
Hey, but man, talk about a little bit more about your time in high school, man. So at what point did you realize, like, yeah, I can go to the next level and really play D1 football?
To me, it was never a doubt about athletic ability for me, honestly. I felt like I could compete with anybody in any sport. That just came from my competitive nature. Like if I don't care if I'm gonna play baseball, I played baseball 1 year ever in my life. But, we're going to compete, and I'm going to try to beat you at that. So I feel like that was my mentality, and I really looked at myself in the mirror, every morning. I was like, hey, you can do whatever you put your mind to, and I thank my parents, and, they always pushed me to let me know, like, hey, you can do it. If you put your mind to it. And I think my main thing was not just, picking a sport to go to college for. I think my main thing was getting my college paid for so my parents wouldn't have to pay. And even though I ended up walking onto the team at first, now I'm on scholarship because of, the work that I put in so that my parents won't have to keep paying.
Yeah. Talk about that real quick. I know we definitely want to touch on your recruiting process. So, but in terms of that, like coming in as a walk-on and eventually earn a scholarship, people from the outside, they don't really know how hard that is. Because especially like, being a Division I college football player, like the way like most colleges treat walk-ons. So like you really have to be on your stuff to be a walk-on and earn a scholarship. Talk about just that mental process and going from being in a position from high school, knowing that you want your parents not to have to pay for college, having to take them steps as a walk-on, and finally earning that scholarship.
I think the first thing that came to my mind was, I was just talking to somebody the other day about that, was that, I didn't have any doubt. I had no doubt in my mind of what was capable, what I was capable of. And I just kind of looked at it as, hey, they missed an opportunity, and I really thank God for, giving me that type of mentality. But I'm not going to ever sit here and say that it was easy. Boy, it was some rough days, going home, trying to figure out, like, am I really meant to be here? Things like that, because, it's going to get hard, especially on a walk-on. our path is definitely way harder than the scholarship guys that they really brought into play. And so, as I got in here, my freshman fall camp, I got COVID.
Ooh.
So I would, and right then it was only the 5-day quarantine you could test, and then you come back. I tested positive for quarantine for 14 days straight. And the thing about it was I was asymptomatic, so I had no symptoms, no anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my freshman year, I pretty much missed half of fall camp sick with COVID. Mm-hmm. So then when I got back, I had I came back and I was kind of on no depth chart like at all. Like I was the last linebacker on all the depth charts. And so I was like, okay, everybody telling me coming in, they like, you going red shirt, like every freshman red shirt, and it's okay. But I kept telling people I'm not red shirt, I'm going to find a way on this field. And so I created a relationship with Coach Chili Davis, who was our special teams coordinator at the time. And I worked my butt off, and every day in practice, I made it my business to embarrass a starter. Just go at them. Just go at them. All practice, just go at them, go at them, go at them. And the first game of the season, UNC, I was, unfortunately, I was a part of the, an ineligible player scandal as a freshman because apparently the NCAA didn't have my transcript or whatnot, which was, that was a crazy situation, for all of us and everybody who was involved. But then Jackson State game, I didn't start that game my freshman year. But then after that, I started on special teams every game after that. And so, I think that, my motivation, and I just thank God for the people that he placed in my corner that kept me going, because every day wasn't me being so confident and me being, I can do this. It was some days where I was like, why am I wasting my time? They ain't gonna never give me no chance. Like I already sat out 2 weeks of fall camp. Ain't no way in the world I'm finna make. I'm about to make the travel squad, or no way in the world I'm gonna play. I might need the red shirt. Things like that set into my mind. But I'm just blessed for the opportunity to have the people in my corner to really be able to push me and be able to bring that to me and be able to take me to the next level.
Yeah, Nay'Ron, man, we talking about a little bit. J. Mar was talking about the scholarship and walk on. So I want to ask you. So what would you say the biggest difference is between being a walk on football player and being a scholarship football player?
I think the biggest thing of being a walk on is kind of like like a job. If they're gonna treat the person that they're giving money to a lot differently than what they treat the person that they're not giving money to. I think that they're like, hey, keep an eye on that guy. He might be a pretty good athlete, but keep also an eye on the money. That's the way we kind of look at it. That's the way that they think about it. And but I think at FAMU we do a good job of trying to make everybody equal to a certain extent. And that I think that gave opportunities to me, guys like me or other guys who were walk-ons, but allowed them to be able to compete against those top guys to be able to earn a scholarship and to be in the positions that we're in right now.
That's real, because like I've never heard someone break it down like that, but like think about it, especially now. I feel like we can use this analogy now, like especially in college football athletes, like you're your own business. So these coaches, they're investing their money into a business. So between walk on and scholarship is basically investing their money into a business versus not investing anything into a business. So it's like you're gonna put all your effort, you're gonna put all your time, and you're gonna put all your opportunities into this one person because that's where your money at. So the whole time, this person could be cooking, the walk-on could be cooking, but coaches don't got that money into you, so they're gonna give this person all the opportunities in the world before they give this person the opportunity. Do it as basically like a walk-on, kind of got to kill 10 times harder in order just to be in that same level as a scholarship athlete. Yeah. Just because all the background, all the politics that go into giving out scholarships and everything. So now I definitely appreciate you breaking that down. And on top of that, obviously walk-on still got paid for their meals, still got paid for their school, still got paid to be on the team. A lot of people don't know that. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that go into that. And I definitely appreciate you breaking that down. But just for you being at FAM, for the years that you've been there, what you feel like was your biggest adjustment from high school football to college football? Is it the mental side, the speed of the game, physicality?
Because he playing linebacker too, so his
Linebacker.
eyes a little bit different.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say, I think because in high school, like I didn't really have to touch offensive linemen because I was just so much faster than them in high school.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't have to block the feet. Like I just ran past them because old linemen, your most of your old linemen in high school are gonna be, shorter, chubbier guys who can't really move very well. That. But once you get to the Division I level, or like this year we played against the Miamis and the Troys of the world. Those are big athletic monsters. Like those, they're not just big fat kids. Like there's some big and athletic guys who have real good builds. And so I think that was the biggest thing that I had to get used to. Is all right now. These big boys fast too. So
Aaron, you know where I'm going.
Oh yeah.
You had a welcome to college moment? Was it in practice or was it in the game? What was your welcome to college moment? Like, oh yeah, this different.
My welcome to college moment. Well, so I have two, right? So my first welcome to college moment was just like my first welcome to anything. Like my first game ever playing was I got in the fourth quarter of Jackson State. I was on kickoff return. It was that they beat up on us pretty bad, and I got in like the fourth quarter on kickoff return, and I don't even know who hit me. I still don't. But all I know is I was on kickoff return, and one of those boys whacked, and like I flew like 5 yards, and I was like, oh snap! I was like, this is what this about. And then this is my first this year was my first year actually playing on defense. Getting that experience, but against Norfolk State, that was for sure my welcome to. All right, this real defense now. This ain't no special teams no more. You better buckle it up for real.
Yeah.
I was a tight end. It was number 8, and so I went in there, and boy, he dumped me. I'm talking about straight dumped me. And the crazy thing was, I was like, I'm the type of player that I'm not gonna really get mad if you get the best of me. I'm gonna laugh it off, but that's what I'm gonna tell you. Bet, let's do it again, because you're not gonna just keep doing it. I enjoy, I enjoy that aspect of football. At the end of the day, guess what? Somebody gonna win. Somebody gonna win. Somebody gonna lose. And I just enjoy the aspect of that. But right after that, he tagged me on Instagram and with the video and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, y'all lost. Like, why are you tagging me? Like, y'all lost.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That was my welcome to defense little hit though. He got me for sure.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, he gotta see me one out.
But anyway, man. So since your time at FAMU, man, we done a lot of winning here, bro. We done a lot of winning since you've been here at FAMU. So then last year, we was blessed enough to win that HBCU national championship down in Atlanta, baby. You feel me? We've been winning, man. So let me know. So talk about last year's team and talk about like your experience being on that championship winning team.
I think that the greatest thing that I loved about that team is that everybody was from everywhere, but we all came together from a common goal. We had we had some guys who come from a rich background, some guys came from a poor background, some guys came from middle class background, or some from the East Coast, some from the West Coast, different things like that. So I think that was just the most beautiful thing about it, was that everybody was from somewhere different, but everybody came together for a common goal. And I think that was just the best part for us, to be able to put that together. People don't really understand how hard it is to win a championship, how hard it is to win a football game in general, not let alone 12 of them. We won 12 games. So I think that, last year also was just big on roles. Everybody had their roles. Everybody knew their roles, and everybody thrived at their roles because, that everybody knew that at the end of the day, it was about the greater good of the team. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about I. It was just about us. And so I think that was the greatest thing, was everybody knew their role and everybody had the greater good of the team in their mind.
Man, I love to hear that, and especially at now where FAMU is in terms of their state of football. You guys are going to start getting a lot of transfers. You guys already have got a lot of transfers for some big time schools, have some big time players who probably just didn't get the deserved opportunity that they feel that they got to be at a higher division Power 5 level school. But asking you, for someone who has been playing at FAMU, if you had a son who happened to play football following your footsteps, getting recruited by Power 5 colleges, all over the country. With your experience at a HBCU, would you tell your son to consider a HBCU if he had all the Power Five offers as well, and explain why?
I think that I would ask my son what's his end goal.
Mm.
I think that I would ask my son, if your end goal is to go to the NFL and to be an NFL vet, and to do that, then by all means, I love FAMU and I love the HBCU culture, but I'm also not blind to the fact of the difference in opportunities there is for the next level.
Mm.
And so, and so if his goal is to just play football, enjoy playing football, and not be looking for a next level, next level opportunity, but I'm just trying to enjoy my time in college, get my degree, and become a regular person in society. But I'm gonna be blessed enough to speak on the opportunity I have. Then I would definitely tell my son, hey man, go to an HBCU. That's the best experience. You have Black excellence all around. You're gonna be around very talented people. People with connections, different things like that. But if his end goal is to go to the NFL, I definitely would tell my son to, consider all of them, but I would definitely tell him the Power 5 route would be the easiest route. And I'm not sitting here saying that NFL scouts don't come to our practices and they don't come. Because I'm not gonna lie, we practice in the mornings and they're up there at 6 a.m. Like, so, so the NFL scouts are there. Don't get me wrong. Like, they come, they show up, and they talk to us and do that type of thing. But I just think that even though they're there, I want us to be able to look at how many NFL players, how many HBCU players have been drafted in the last 10 years.
So touching on that part, but my bad, Ern, if you're about to ask something. So touching on the part where you said they're there, but how many have been drafted? Do you feel that they're showing up in terms of real seeking, or are they showing up just to do their due diligence that we showed up?
I think that they're showing up because they know that there's potential here. But I think the reason that they also put HBCU, you see a lot of us not get drafted, but you see a lot of us get put on undrafted free agent deals.
Yeah. But I see a lot of HBCU players that are better than the dudes are getting drafted. So
right, but that's what I was gonna say too. Is they put us on the undrafted free agent deals because they want to see us play against higher competition in their eyes. They want to see us play against the Alabamas. They want to see us play against the Floridas. Different things like that. And I think that the difference in film is the reason of why we don't get the same opportunity. Because we would be lying to ourselves if we say that we play teams as talented as Alabama week in and week out. We would be lying, But when we get that opportunity, and I think that football is going to be football at the end of the day, no matter who it is. Me personally, I think that the difference between HBCU and Power 5 school is only the size of the players.
Yeah.
Like, pound for pound, HBCU and FCS players are still the best. Mm-hmm. Like, they're still, pound for pound, there's some guys that could go toe-to-toe with anybody in any position.
Yeah.
But the measurables aren't the same as well for HBCU players versus, for instance, I'm a 5'10", 220-pound linebacker versus Alabama, Florida. They got 6'4", 235, 240 running a 4'4", 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the measurables that they look at. And so, things like that, when it comes into, who they want to build their business with and who, I feel like they think that, hey, we can teach skill, but we can't teach measurables.
Nope.
Yeah. He teach size.
Right. And so I think that's something God-given, and it's unfortunate for, the shorter guys who can ball, and there are some short guys in the league that, but they had a rough time to even get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, all those guys, that they really ain't have all the stars and have all the publicity, but they had to fight their way to get in there. Yes. And so, and that's the thing about it is, it's just that's the unfortunate situation with it. I'm a firm believer that football gonna be football no matter who you playing against. And so, we went into that Miami game and I was confident in us because at the end of the day, it ain't so much that a team can do. Ain't but so much a team can do. That's different. It's just gonna be football. And so I think that's the difference between the NFL scouts looking at us and looking at Power Five are the measurables and are the dominating factors that they see on film.
Yeah, I asked you last week, man. You trying to go to the league, bro? You said no. I'm like, whoa, bro, don't want to go to the league, man. So, talk about your plans after graduation. What you think that'll look like for you?
So I really really enjoy playing football, and if anybody know me, they know I'm a football fanatic. Like a game on, I'm watching. And like, oh, I'm watching film all day. Like people call me or they'll see me on my iPad. They be like, "What you doing?" And that I'm just watching film. Like I just really love football. But I think that, I love football because of the opportunity that it gives me. And it gives me the opportunity to network and things like that. And so I won't say that the NFL is all the way out of what I would do, because obviously, if I get drafted, then I'm gonna go see what it's about. But I think that also some people, in my opinion, chase that dream for too long and don't realize when to say, hey, it's okay to be a regular person in society, get a regular job, and be able to work and start a family and be able to be okay with football ending. And so, I think that I'm okay with football ending, knowing the relationships that I built, the things that I did, and also I think I'm comfortable with knowing that I give this my all while I'm in it. Our end goal is to become an athletic conference commissioner. I really want to, work closely with sports, but I want to also, be able to impact athletes and be able to work in that capacity, as well as stay close to sports, because that's really my passion. And I also, I've thought about coaching a little bit, but I also was kind of, I'm kind of lenient on that because of the fact of starting a family. College coaches, I really commend them because they give up a lot to be there.
Yeah.
They don't really get to see their kids grow up. They don't get to see their wives. They don't get to see those type of things. And so I think that's my only reluctance, because I want to see my little son go out on his first tackle football game, on a Saturday. I want to see those type of things. And I think that being a college coach would kind of hinder that. But, I definitely know that I just want to stay around sports because I just love sports and I love athletes and I love just being around them, because I feel like, when you're around like-minded people, they make everything easier. You understand, we all, like, when you're working with somebody who y'all both just got done playing football and y'all both trying to figure out what's next in life, y'all can bounce ideas off each other and talk to each other about that, because, y'all both going through the same thing. And I'm not saying that I'm going to have an easy time being done with football, because I'm not. I know that it's going to be a struggle. That first football season that come around with no football, I'm going to be a little bit sick. I'm going to be sick. I ain't even going to lie. I'm going to be a little sick. But, I think that I will be a little bit more at ease knowing that I gave it my all, and I did everything I could to give this game my all. The game that I was blessed with so many opportunities from. This game has given me so much, so I feel like it's only right for me to give it my all, because it's giving me so much.
And I definitely appreciate you saying that, just because something that me and Ern, we talked about, and one of the biggest things that we wanted to get out of this show is having athletes that are on the show and let them know that there's more to life outside than just being a football player. And so, like that you said, like, some people don't know when to let it go, and that's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, everybody's journey is the same. Like, you could still be successful as a Black man in America without being an athlete or an entertainer. And I even feel like athletes are entertainers because we're entertaining people. But
right,
definitely appreciate you saying that. But I know before we get into our little segment that we gotta do, I got one question, and I'm gonna let Ern get it before we get into it too. Right now, man, Tallahassee in the air, man. I'm just gonna flat out and go ahead and say it, man. Who the best team in Tallahassee? Let them boys look like facts, man. I'm part of the green and orange, man.
Hey, man, like I say, I'm not gonna never bet against the Rattlers. I tell you that much. But I do think that we both are coming off of some rough times. We both lost. We lost 2 games. Florida State lost 3. So we both have some things to work on. I think everybody got used to Tallahassee being the home of champions last year.
Yeah.
It's not very it's not very common that you have every team in a city to be able to win championships and win things like that. But I think that Florida State, they look better on Saturday, and so I think that they're going to be on a roll, and they're going to be a team to watch. To have a have a turnaround better than what they started off with. But I think I definitely would like to see that game, for bragging rights sake. But I'm not going to ever bet against the Rattlers. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, shoot, I'm rocking with y'all too.
I'll tell you what, man. Obviously, I'm not playing, so I can really go both sides. I went to FSU last year, going to FAMU game, so it's just so much better. Everybody's better in Tallahassee. Everybody's happy, celebrating.
Hey, the nightlife better, huh?
You feel me? Everybody just in a good mood, man. Everybody just in a good mood. So, but one last question before we get to the rapid fire segment. Obviously we've got Coach Cozy, man, brand new coach for FAMU after having Willie for all those years, man, bringing home a national championship. To this point, right now, what would you say is the biggest difference between the two?
That's a good question.
I'm snapping, huh?
I was gonna say that's a really good question. Well, I think the biggest difference is obviously their methods of coaching are way different because of their different position, their different side of the ball. Mm-hmm. I think that Coach Simmons was more of an offensive minded coach and kind of let the defensive coaches do their defensive thing and kind of checked in on them from time to time. Yeah. See like, hey, all right, why does this keep happening? And they give a good explanation, or he gives a recommendation and does that. I think that's the same thing that's happening this year, but it's happening in the reverse with with Coach Cozy. Coach Cozy played, Coach Simmons played quarterback in college, and Coach Simmons played corner. So he's always been with the cornerbacks. He's still our cornerbacks coach. Even though he's the head coach, he still also does individual period with the cornerback. And so I think it's the reverse now. That Coach Cozy kind of goes in with the offense. And they all in their staff meeting, the offensive coaches, they come. And I think that's also the importance of, surrounding yourself with good people that you trust. With Coach Simmons, he trusted the defensive coaches, and they all were great, and the offensive coaches were all great. Just like this year, Coach Cozy can trust the offensive coordinators and the defensive coordinator to know that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And so I think that Coach Cozy, really just kind of hit his head in there, with the offense and kind of, asks them what the scheme for the week is, and, really, asks his questions, because all the questions he wants to ask about the possibles and about what happens, what if this happens, what are we going to do? How are we going to counter that? And so I think that's really the only difference that I see. Coach Cozy was obviously on the coaching staff with us last year. Mm-hmm. And so, he was around that same kind of coaching style, so he knew the culture, he knew kind of the thing because he had just been in for 2 years. But I think Coach Cozy he tells us that he uses a lot of Bobby Bowden's, techniques of coaching, because that's who he played for at Florida State when he was a player back in the 90s. And so, that's the biggest difference is he uses a little bit of a different Bobby Bowden type technique that he explains to us. We really don't know what that means, because I wasn't born in the 90s, so I don't know what the Bobby Bowden technique is.
You don't know about the Bobby B, but
yeah.
Cool. Nah, but we definitely appreciate you giving us all this game. So I know before we let you go, we got a couple sit-down stumpers. So it's just gonna be some random questions, but it's meant to make you think. So we got 4 today. So the first one. If you guys couldn't play at FAMU, something happened in your stadium, you had to pick one stadium to play your home games at. Where we're gonna be at out of y'all HBCU opponents. Ooh. You can't play your home games at FAM. You gotta pick your other HBCU opponents to play your home games at. Where you going?
I think I'm going to Jackson, Mississippi.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to play in the vet. I think they have a really nice stadium, and they have, I think they seat way more too. They since Coach Coach Prime went there, he added a whole new section to it, so they seat, if I'm not mistaken, like
it's really big. It's really
40
big.
or 50,000.
Yeah.
No, that's hard. All right, next one. What's one thing you would change about HBCU sports?
I think the coverage, the media coverage.
Yeah.
I think that we should have our own network. You have HBCU Go, but it's not on any television channels. It's not. I feel like we should have a partnership with a cable companies so that we can have our own channel. But HBCU Go is only a website that you can go to. It's not a actual TV show, like actual channel.
And just to piggyback on that, like it kind of irritates me, man, because for one, when I used to go to ESPN Plus or something, the footage just looks just ghetto, man. You feel me? Like it just don't. It's just
they record. Hey, they record that bit off the phone, stream that bit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Like and then it just be weak, bro. Gotta be better, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. You said, hey, that's something that you can take and make it happen, bro. I'm gonna lie,
bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, putting you on the spot. We're not talking no negative. We just talking about your personal experience. Best part and the worst part of FAMU.
Best part is the community. Sure. I feel like the FAMU Lee is a real thing. Like, people looking from the outside, they just be like, oh, that's cringy. That just happened to go with the name.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I think that's the most like important thing about us is that, it's just the family aspect of everything. No matter where you are, like I go on trips and different things, and I'm in the airport and somebody striking at me, somebody doing it, like, oh, go Rattler. So that's the main thing that I really enjoy is that, the family aspect of things. And no matter where you at, you're gonna see a Rattler somewhere. You could be across the country, you could be in a different country, you're gonna find a Rattler somewhere.
Right.
And yeah. And the worst part about FAMU, I would say, I would really say,
Financial aid be playing with y'all sometimes. Hey, come on, bro. We giving the real, man. What's the worst part, man?
I mean, I haven't had it. I've only been on scholarship for a semester now, so I ain't really had to deal with financial aid that much for real. I was paying for it out of pocket. But
they gonna have some get back.
Yeah, but like worst thing at FAMU, I don't know. Them hills. That's what it is. The hills.
Yeah.
Walk in the class.
That's walk
in the class, you sweat so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, I go in class and I'll be drenched. Like I have to go and make a stop in the bathroom just to wipe myself, wipe my face off. Like I just be sweating, full of sweat.
Real, bro. The people, especially the journalism building, J Monitor, bro, like going from the parking garage, but it's a steep hill going.
Workout.
Dude, I walk all the way from the field. I walk all the way from the stadium to class.
Oh,
because we be just getting out of class. We be just getting out of practice when I come to class. So that's why I be skating in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, last one before we let you go. Who the best player that you've seen in the HBCU so far? Either teammates, someone you played against. Who you think the best prospect, NFL prospect, wise, person next up that you think was the best player that you've seen in HBCU so far?
Well, he's not in HBCU anymore, but he used to play at Jackson State. But Travis Hunter is a guy, and that's all you can say. Travis Hunter and Shadur, really. Shadur Sanders, my freshman year, he was 21 of 21 before he incompleted the pass.
Yeah,
so like people like that, those are generational talents. Somebody who can play offense and defense at such a high level like Travis Hunter can, and then Shadur Sanders who can throw the ball and has a high IQ the way he has. I think those are two players that you can definitely see. Some players get their hype and get their fame from their last name, but I definitely think that Shadur Sanders lives up to the hype for sure.
Legit. He's legit.
Yeah, like he's a legit player. Like it's just not any daddy ball going on with that. He's legit ball player, and I do respect them with the highest, and I guess let me give somebody who plays now. Who plays now that I can really see? I would say my boy. I play with him now. Eric Horn. A linebacker, really physical. Really fast linebacker. Who gonna make plays. He's gonna make plays, and he's gonna be able to give you everything that you knew. He's gonna give you everything that he's got. And he transferred from Iowa State. He was a starter at Iowa State while he was there, and so he's definitely a great player that I can definitely see playing on Sundays.
Hey, respect that.
So yeah, that's the end of the segment, man. That's it, man. So what you say, big shout out, my boy, for hopping on with us, man. I'll be seeing you shortly. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see you tomorrow at 9:30.
I'm gonna be there, man.
But yeah, man. So y'all just y'all know what to do, man. Like,
whoa,
comment.
whoa,
oh, wait.
Come on,
You're right.
dog.
My bad. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. One more last thing I gotta do, man. So Nay'Ron, man. So all the people man, your connection you made with, at FAMU, high school, wherever you got connected, you make your connections at. All those people, man. Who do you think would be the best person for our show?
You said who would be the best person for y'all show?
Yeah.
To get on. Have y'all want to get Daniel Richardson on? D-Rich?
D-Rich, I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think D-Rich would be definitely a good person to talk to. I definitely think that he would be willing to talk to you guys.
Hey, you gonna have to throw that alley-oop for us though. D-Wade to Brown.
I got you.
Hey, listen, that boy was hooping. Hey, I'm gonna need you to
I got you. Don't worry. I'm throwing out the glass. I got you.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode, man. A big shout out to my boy Nay'Ron, man, and see y'all next time, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Sir, out.